Do this chat thing here. Why did that go away? Oh, there it is. Hello, everybody. It's episode 198. And I went over to the YouTube channel and I have 291 subscribers. So I only need 9 more to have 300. I think we're going to be on track for Christmas. I think that's going to be amazing. We just need to find 9 more people. So if you know people out there, say, go there, do that, because it's a good time. Then we got stuff going on. We got stuff going on. So today, that's an odd thing, isn't it? Today, coffee. It's kind of a special day. Yes, it's the first time this fall that we've had freezing rain. And people woke up this morning and looked out and said, what the hell? Even though the weather forecast said, probably a bunch of dreck coming down on Thursday, you might want to plan. And I'm feeling a little bit smug because I got my tires fixed and changed and rotated and for winter on Monday. So other people not so ready. So what's happening today is a conversation that actually I was part of about 1 million years ago. Back in my, I'm a model and I'm too sexy for my hat days. I did a lot of events. You have a big event and you have pretty intense and people signing people in, so everybody's in a great mood and whatnot. And this one was a military event, and that was very special for me, of course. And it was a fighter pilots reunion, World War II fighter pilots. Now, fighter pilots there's a name for them in the industry. They're called jet jockeys. They are rogues. They are rebels. They are daredevils. They would have been, back in the earliest days, barnstormers, fearless, and issue a challenge, and they're all over it. And so a fighter pilots reunion, many, many, many decades later, is an interesting moment. And it's the theme today. The theme today for episode 198 is, why do we say best ever? And the follow-up to that is, how could we know? It's Thursday. It's 10 o'clock my time. How do we know that the thing we think is the best ever could ever possibly be the best ever? What about the thing that's coming down the pipe tomorrow that was all excited and now is feeling a little left out in the cold? Well, if the best ever has already been, what am I doing? Right? Why do we do that? Why do we claim a thing in a way that sets us up for disappointment, for regret, for always looking back? Why do we do that? And I think it's a mistake. And I don't think we realize it. And I think this is another one of the pivotary conversations that is important, especially this time of year when, November tends to be a bit gray. We've had all the riotous up here in Canada. We have, all the leaves changing color and everything is dancing around and saying, this is my good side and this is my other good side. And then all of a sudden, the leaves are kind of gone and everything's just standing there and the sky is the same color as the pavement. And it's difficult. It's more difficult to be bouncy and cheerful than it was when everything was all tra-la. And if we have taken away the possibility that something new can be the new best now, best right now in this moment now, anticipation of things to come, changes everything. It changes everything in terms of what we decide we're going to get up for, what we're going to wake up for, what we're going to face the front for, what we're going to go and stand in a shower, what we're going to put our pants on for. It changes everything rather than heavy sighing. And so having said all of that, back to this story, fighter pilots reunion. And oh my God, those guys are fun. They are still fun, no matter how long ago it was that they stormed a barn. They are still a riot because that certain innate element of mischief is part of the fabric of who they are, you know. And so there I was saying, gentlemen, would you please sign in so I can give you your badges and your name things? And these two guys, you know, said, hey there, cutie. And both men were bald. Both men. And it wasn't like I'm shaving my head because I'm too sexy for my barber. They were elderly, right? And one fellow said to me, I'm curly. And I said, really? And the other one said, yeah, he's curly and I'm red. And there they were. And I thought, good. You still are. No matter what that is, you still are. And I said, so what do you do now, guys? And I forget which one said, well, we're not doing what we used to do. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, laugh. And the other one said, no. He said, I sell carpets over at the department store here. And I said, is that right? And the other one said, yeah, and I'm a greeter at Walmart. And I thought, wow. Their best ever because of who they are. See, I'm a little teary-eyed because it's military stuff. So, and it's November. Their best ever, according to anyone you care to name, because they were almost standing, leaning sideways. They had so many medals on their jackets, so many. And, you know, I could have stood there all day asking them what this one was for and what that one was for. And what we wanted to do was move them along so that they could go and see all the others. And, you know, and I thought to myself, one of the reasons these fellows come to these reunions is, good morning, Freddie. Tuning in on your phone. Wonderful. Glad to see you. One of the reasons these fellows come to the reunions is, of course, to check in on everybody. And the other is that the people at these reunions are the only ones who get it. They're the only ones who were right there. They're the only ones that you can have that shorthand conversation with. Because if you know, you know. And if you don't know, it's going to take too long to kind of clue you in. And, you know, people often say, you know, dad or granddad or uncle or aunt came back from the war and they don't want to talk about it. Excuse me. One of the reasons they don't want to talk about it is because it's going to take too long to get you to the place that they want to talk about. So they don't want to talk about it with you. They want to talk about it with somebody who knows, who understands why. In the midst of wonderful, it's sad. And in the midst of sad, it's wonderful. That's the whole point of getting together with the people who were there, the people who are in on the inside with them. And so the thing I was thinking about today when I was organizing how I wanted to talk about this today is that they could have spent the rest of their lives trying to capture that 6 months, 2 weeks, half a year, that no one will ever live again. They could spend their whole lives chasing that, dreaming of going back, dreaming of forever being 24 and fearless. They could do that. And they would be shadow people. They would walk around saying, yeah, that is the best days of my life. And they wouldn't have a chance in hell of truly enjoying this one, of truly saying, they wouldn't ever feel that again if they had decided that was as good as it was ever going to get. And we all do that without realizing it. We pin a rose, we put a gold star on a thing and say best moment. You know, those sad conversations that you overhear, somebody who scored the winning touchdown at the last game in high school, and that was the biggest moment there ever was. And what does he do now? Sells insurance. Does he like it? No, he hates it. Why? Because he can still hear the crowd cheering. He can still feel his heart pumping and his lungs bursting and his knees kicking high. And he's never going to forget that. He's also never going to allow anything else to top it. Why? Why only look at the glory days? See, I post, in case you're new here, I post all kinds of pictures of the things I did. Why? They're benchmarks. They're benchmarks. That was then, this is now. How are we doing? I posted, I guess it was yesterday or the day before, the picture of my school picture that was taken 5 months after the car accident. My girlfriend and I went to go shopping for Christmas at a nearby German town. We were in Europe. And my dad's aide had been in a car accident. We decided to go and see him. He was in this German hospital. He didn't know any German, didn't know anybody in the hospital. We thought, poor guy. So we went to see him. And when we were at the hospital, we bumped into a couple of military cops who had come down to see him as well. And one of the fellows said, want to ride back? And I said, no, we have train tickets. And the other guy said, no, come with us. You know, got a new car. Come with us. You get back earlier. And we said, oh, okay. And so we got in the car and we proceeded to be in a horrific, nightmarish accident. And nobody died. The most severely injured were my girlfriend and I. And car flipped, car rolled, roof came off. We all fell out. Car spun around off into nothingness. And somebody came along and picked us up, like, you know, detritus by the side of the road, took us to the nearest hospital. We got sent back to the base hospital. And I hit my face, hit against the window in the back seat, wham, and knocked out. And the thing about that was, and maybe because it was the glass, I don't know, I didn't break anything. I was wearing contact lenses. I didn't lose my eye. I didn't lose my sight. I didn't break any bones, but I was pretty mashed up. And I have no idea what it was they gave me, some concoction with vitamin E and whatnot, and things. I couldn't chew anything because it was all like that. So mostly gruel, and I couldn't sip with a straw for 5 weeks. And we weren't allowed to look in mirrors. Nobody took a picture. And that photograph was the school pictures before graduation. It's 5 months later. And when I look at that picture, and I know exactly, I mean, you touch my nose and it was like a curved line to my ear. There was no indentation. And I don't know how that happened, you know? So was that accident the worst day or the best? Right? I mean, here I am. Or was it one of many? Was it a benchmark? I prefer to think of it as a benchmark. The people who say I would give my right arm to be in show business, to be famous, to be rich, to be tall, to be short, to be whatever, and then they get it, and then what? They realize that whatever that thing was that they dreamed, they craved, they would so desperate for, the phone will get itself, that it was crazy, it was stupid, because it doesn't it doesn't mean anything tomorrow. The best ever moment is just a moment. And now there's going to be more. I mean, I'm here and I'm here with you guys, and I'm here. And I've been through kind of a tough year. We've all been through kind of a tough few years recently. Are they the worst? No, no, they're not. They could be so much worse. Are they the best? Gosh, I hope not. I hope there's more, and I hope there's better, and I hope there's bigger. You know, somebody said, "So you're going to do a show again? Why?" And I said, "Because I love doing shows." I was watching some choreography last night, little, videos, and I thought, you could do that too. There's so many things that are possible if we are looking forward and we are saying, "So, okay, today was amazing. Let's see what comes next," rather than, "Oh gosh, if only," and because then the day is empty. You see what I'm saying? It's so, Freddie's saying youth is a fleeting thing. I don't think so. I'm sorry, Freddie, I'm disagreeing with you. I don't think youth is a fleeting thing. I think youth is who we choose to be. I think vital and vibrant and alive is who we choose to be. I think happy that we're here, grateful that we're here. The thing in baseball when the runners cross third and he's sprinting for home and he's pounding the pavement and he's pounding and he's pounding and he's waiting to cross the home plate to hear the ump go safe. That's my every day. That's my every single day. I am looking forward to the chance to have everybody in the stands go, yeah. I will be lying face down, throwing up from the exertion, but I'll be back in a minute. And I think it's a big deal. I really think it's a bigger deal than we realize, because part of this conversation that I'm having today, I was saying in one of my posts that I learned this incredible phrase from my two clever psychologist friends on Friday, and it just made me stop and wonder. And the phrase was post-traumatic growth. And I thought, interesting. And how exciting, because that means there's hope. That means that we have the ability to heal. The scientists are saying so. The doctors are saying so, which makes my pivotry in motion even more exciting to talk about and write about, because it's backed by science. You know what is also important, and I think as important, is that if there can be such a thing as post-traumatic growth, there can also be post-triumph growth. There can be post-famous best day ever growth. There can be growth and excitement and challenge and opportunity and anticipation no matter what. Whether it was terrible, whether it taught us a lesson, whether it brought out the worst or the best or the silliest part of us, it's not the end game. It's not the end of days. It's this moment. It isn't even a full day. A moment is a moment. Boop. And oh, look, there's more. We can't name one of them best ever. We could say best so far. We could say best now. The same thing as, you get married happily ever after. After what? Lunch? Happily ever? Really? Every day? Seriously? Good luck with that. Why can't it be happy and leaning in? Happy and pulling together. Happy and doing the very best we possibly can in this moment, and then taking a breather when we're exhausted. Giving ourselves permission to say, okay, I've done a remarkable job on that. And can't we forgive ourselves? If there is no such thing as best ever or worst ever, then where we are living is an oasis, excuse me, an oasis of forgiveness. We are living in a moment, in a place, in a time, in a mindset, on an energetic level. Thank you, Freddie. Oh, he says I've convinced him. I certainly hope so. We are living every single moment as we choose to live it. If we want to complain, it's going to be an unfortunate moment. If we're constantly looking for the next thing and we're not paying attention to how amazing this one is, okay, then this one is going to pass us by. And what if this one was the best ever when we look back and we think, why wasn't I paying attention? Why didn't I hang on? Why didn't I say I love you one more time? Where the hell was I going? What did I think I was doing? And that's not forgiveness. That's fetching and moaning and blaming and ruining the next moment and the moment after that. Why are we doing that? Why aren't we here, present and accounted for right now? How's it going? On a scale of 1 to 10. There's an incredible woman who is cleaning the house in Quebec to prepare it for sale. And she called me yesterday because she had a couple of questions for me. And I said, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how many times did you say, what the hell was I thinking? When you were in there. And she said, everyone thinks that what they left behind is a disaster. And it isn't. It's perfectly normal. It's stuff. And it needs to be cleaned. And my people are good at it. That's what we do. We get it ready for the next person who's excited to be there. We get ready for the next family. We get ready for the next story that's going to be written. And that's exciting. I don't mind being the one sweeping the stage and getting it clean, making sure the seats are all ready for the next audience. I'm good with that. And I thought, wow. And that is really important, I think, for us for a couple of reasons. I was talking to a client yesterday. We were discussing what's going to happen next year because 2024 is going to be upon us. And I said, if you raise children in a way that they don't understand that it matters to be kind, that it matters to be polite, that it matters to be considerate, that it matters to make room for everybody in your immediate vicinity. And I don't mean erase your own footsteps. I mean to be just normally considerate. If there's 4 chairs and there are 4 people, don't put your feet up on one and sit on the other and put your bag on the third one. Hello. What are you thinking? There's other people. They'd like to sit down as much as you would. Be considerate. Pay attention. Because what goes around comes around. And if we are not doing that, and we are not teaching each other that those things matter, and if we are not rewarding each other for doing it, we end up with people who are not very nice to each other. And it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter what story they believe or what goal they aim for or who they represent. What matters is we're all the same. We're all in the boat. We're all together. And if you want to bicker and quarrel and snipe, then we're all going to have a not very happy time. It's going to be an exhausting slog through blech. And the reason I say that is because next year, in one of the arguably most influential countries on this globe, there is an election. And if recent history tells us anything, it's going to be a very stressful time. Excuse me, I think I need a little caffeine for this. Is it going to be the worst? No. Is it going to be the best? No. It's going to be a stressful time. And if we know that's coming, just as did we know it was going to snow and have freezing rain, then why didn't you change your tires to all weather or winter tires? If we know that's going to happen, then I think it would be a really great idea that we decide that in our own little oasis, and you're welcome in, that we need to create, plan, rehearse a preemptive strike, not to attack, but to defend, not to argue, not to bicker, not to fetch, not to demand, but put up the walls and say, within this area, this is an oasis of forgiveness. Leave the other stuff at the door and come on in. And let's talk about other stuff. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about how you feel. On a scale of 1 to 10, how tired you are. How do I take my coffee? One of each. Coffee, cream, sugar, Maserati, the usual. Let's make a pact that in our little circle of influence, there is forgiveness. Did you mess up? Yes. Did you mean to mess up? No. All right then. Did you learn anything from the messing up? Did somebody mess up and mess up all over you? Yes. Did we all learn everything? Good. Okay. Tell the person, thanks very much. Don't do it again. And let's figure out how to move on. Because that was that moment. Did we enjoy it? Oh, yes. No. Okay. Moment's over. Brand new moment. We have a brand new moment. Let's do it stress-free. I was saying to my client, I have a plan. I'm going to tell everybody, and I'm going to be a little annoying about it. I think we all need to go to one of those really inexpensive stores, is it a dollar store or something, and buy a trash can. The kind with the lid, you step on the little pedal and the lid goes like that. Okay, get that and go to a place where they sell stencils. And what you want is the biggest letter S, as in Sam, that you can find. What you want to do is you want to take the garbage pail home and you want to put the big letter S on it. Put something sticky on the back and put the letter S on it and leave it by the door. What's that for? That's the stress. Leave your stress there. When you come in, take off your dirty boots and leave your stress in there. Step on the pedal, put the imaginary stress in there. Right in the later folder. Stress, discarded. Perfect. And then carry on. And if whatever happened on the inside caused some more stress, deposit it. So you don't take it outside with you and infect other people. And if we all do that, and if we all do our very best in the moment to allow each moment to simply be what it is and celebrate it, learn from it, give it a good hug, and then set it free. Why? Because when we set all that free, we set us free. And then we have all the ability, all the time, all the room to be fabulous. It's a strategy, though. It's not just, oh, I wish. It has to be a plan. It has to be purposeful. You have to decide that you want it, and then you got to do it. every day. Why? Because we are worth it. We do not need to be looking back saying, oh gosh, I wish I could still fit into my hockey jacket. I wish I could still wear the outfit for curling. Somebody once said to me, have you ever tried curling? No. Why not? It's really fun. And I said, I'm not into competitive sweeping. I'm actually not into sweeping at all. I said, I want to wait for competitive ironing. Now there's my sport. And they look at me. Stop asking her to do things like that. I don't wish to look back and say, if only. I don't wish to stand in the present and say, if only. I don't wish to gaze into the future and say, if only. Why? Why don't I want that? I don't want that because it takes away my power. It leaves me as a spectator. And life is not a spectator sport. I have a lot of very talented friends. I'm really blessed. I'm really lucky. I'm really, whatever the word is you want to say. I know a lot of really cool people who just, got up and did the biggest, the largest, the best, the craziest, the worst, whatever, every day in order to reach a peak of some kind. And when I talk to them about some of those peaks and valleys and some cliffs and bogs and all the things that cause the utmost damned astonishment, it goes without saying, really, that it's the journey that is delicious. It isn't one moment in the past. It's the peaks and the valleys, the highs and lows, the sudden, hairpin turns, the things we never saw coming. It's all of it that creates this incredible container. It's an invisible container, but it's all the tools that we have in order to knit or crochet or glue or stick or hammer or whatever this one of a kind story. Who we are, where we're going, what we're going to do when we get there. It's such a cool thing. And when we look around at people who are carving these tiny little squares to stand on, their little 2 inches or 2 feet, 2 yards, whatever it is, to stand on and say, you can't come in here, this is mine. And you think, well, why are you doing that? I talk a lot about drawing a heart-shaped line in the sand and living from afar. And that's different from, you can't come in here, this is mine. How dare you? We don't need to be angry or hostile. We don't need to hurt people. We need to find ways to collaborate, to communicate, to give away utter, absolute illusion of control. Give it away. It's an illusion. And focus on what is possible, what we can do together. And I don't mean a kumbaya. I mean, people are different. Some of us are more different than others. I have disagreements with people I love about the things that they are steadfast for or against. And when they head off down that tangent, I do this. And I say, I love you forever and a day. I'm not doing that. Are you going to do that? If you're going to do that, I got to go and do stuff. I'm not going to do that. And then it's their choice to say, oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry. Okay. To stand down, to opt away, use that conversation, that attitude, some other time, some other place, with some other people, not with me. I came to be with you, not to be with that. If that's become really important, I'll catch you later. We have this opportunity to carve our niche, to set our goals, and to say, as much as possible, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to relish it. I'm going to be grateful for it. Why am I going to do that? I began this by telling the story of what happened to me when I was in high school. I don't know how it happened. Here I am. Here I am. And it's been a minute since that happened. It's been a whole bunch of moments since that little moment in time. Every single day is a bonus day. How incredible is that? Why would I say that anything was the absolute best ever when I have no idea how many there are? And every single one of them is no word for it. So the conversation that is going to happen and has already begun to happen in this month, that is a month dedicated to remember people who said, I am here and I am committed to do my best, whatever the cost, because this matters to me. We are remembering those people who made those decisions, who prioritized in that way, because it is brave, it is generous, it is beautiful. And in the midst of those moments, we will hear, we will feel, we will sense mutterings. Well, it wouldn't have had to happen if. All I'm saying is, and that's all we have to do. Why? What? You shushing me? I'm busy. Mm-hmm. And if they don't want to move away, then we move away. We go and claim the space somewhere over here so that we can honor and give thanks, partly for their service, but give thanks a little bigger that we are part of their story. Red and Curly are part of my story now. A friend of theirs, his nickname was Blackie. When I met him, his hair was white. And Blackie was another one, another fearless, crazy barnstormer. And he was captured. He was captured by soldiers who fed him nothing but rice. And then there was a truce, and he was set free. And I said to Blackie's wife, are there things that are a problem? And she said, he won't eat rice. That's about it. He's just really glad to be here. And I said, oh my God, the rice thing. And she said, you know what he says? I had a full serving. I'm good. And I would talk to him, and he didn't seem to be broken. He didn't seem to be irretrievably lost. And, in thinking about the pivotry concept, in thinking about the quality that we have the ability to go and get in order to live in this moment and to celebrate this moment and to take on this moment, this ability we have to shift and go and find and present and put the other away. I think he was a poster child for it. I think that, one of the things he said to me, and whether or not it's absolutely true or maybe just a little bit true, he said that the way he saw it, trauma is a thing that happens to us when the unimaginable becomes real. And I said, explain to me. And he said, in a million years, I never thought I would ever see, and then I saw. And it wasn't that I couldn't imagine it and didn't expect it that was the problem. It's how suddenly I saw it, how suddenly it was there, fully formed in front of me. And I didn't have the tools to know what to do with it. And I thought, that's pretty clear. And I was talking, with my really, really wise friends on Friday. And I said, so when we revisit it, what's going on? And one of them said, well, the subconscious goes back and looks at things, double checks. It's a survival instinct. When you're hunting in the woods and you hear a noise and it's a big noise, then there's a chance that there's something big making that noise. If you didn't expect to hear anything and you suddenly hear it, the element of surprise is the thing you weren't ready for. That can come back and come back and come back because the subconscious is rehearsing and polishing for the next time. And I thought, yeah, simplifying it. It's the unimaginable that suddenly becomes real. And that's kind of another way of saying this thing I've been saying, change is only difficult, change is only hard when we didn't think of it. Coping is only hard when we weren't ready, when we weren't prepared. And in going to this part of the conversation, I know it's very heavy, and I don't mean it to be heavy, I mean it to be wonderful. When we didn't think of it, what were we thinking of? If we enlisted and we went to boot camp and they trained us to be ready, to be prepared, to brace ourselves, to shield ourselves, when the healers among us don't impose self-care requirements, and they are depleted and exhausted and cannot cope, and then they see the next terrible thing, it's a good chance they'll be traumatized. So this is what I think we deserve to do for us. I think it's really important that we do for us. And I think it's even more important and special and wonderful that we do it for each other. That we say, you're amazing. Thank you. Thank you for being. Just thank you for being. And by the way, go take a moment, pick up a mirror, look in the mirror. Thank you for being. We got this. We deserve to do that. Of course, we deserve to do that. But more importantly, we need to do it to make us whole, to make us ready, to make us rested, to make us remind us that we're not alone. We need it. We deserve it. We haven't had our best day ever. With any luck, we're having one of them right now. And if we play our cards right and we lean in and we get rid of all of the stuff we don't need, we'll have one tomorrow. And that's what I'm counting on. I don't want to ever feel that today and tomorrow are empty. If I ever felt that, why did I survive? I'm here to do something a lot more fun than that. And you are too. So I'm going to let you guys go now. I want you to think about all the things that make you smile. Not constantly, but every now and then. If it's a treat day, have a treat. And don't say to yourself, oh my God, I shouldn't be doing this. For heaven's sakes, do it. Do it. Don't have it all the time, because then it isn't a treat. The weekend, our Remembrance Day is on Saturday. And that's going to be a day. And lots of stuff to do to prepare for the fall, winter-ish stuff. The office is getting a bit cluttered and I have to start cleaning again. It sneaks up on me. And I know that you guys are going to be busy. I know that the really keen ones among you are already Christmas shopping. And what I'm doing is I'm plotting and planning and preparing. As Freddie has just asked, do we have to have more Pivotry interviews? Yep, we will have to have another one, Freddie, absolutely. And I will let you know. And to all of you who are waiting for this Pivotry thing, when is it coming, Abby? What is this thing all about? It's on its way. And I'm excited. And I hope you will be too. So, having said that, have a great weekend. Be careful out there on the roads. Be careful out there. Be good to you and each other. Hugs are free. And they're non-fattening and they don't cause cavities. All right? And remember to hug your loved ones. Thank you so much for watching. This was episode 198. Tuesday. Tuesday is going to be 199. How incredible is that? And I will see you then. Mwah.